Um, so welcome everybody. Sorry, it took me a while to get loaded in for some reason today. Um, I will introduce myself, Anne Marie McGee. I am the co-chair of the Communications Committee, and I'm also a Philanos board member. And I am a member of Impact 100 Redwood Circle in Santa Rosa. So all board members are members of their local circles as well. And then I want to turn this over to Renee Gordon this morning, who she'll introduce herself. She is on our communications committee. She also serves on the technology committee, and she's a new board member this year, which we are thrilled to have her talents and expertise and willingness to just jump in and do whatever. So, Renee, I'm going to let you take it from there.
Anne Marie. Well, it is exciting to be a board member of Philanos and to meet all these women from across the country and learn what's being done. But right now, I want to introduce Sharon Jones Schweitzer. I'm Renee Gordon from Baltimore Women's Giving Circle. And as many of you have heard, if you got on a little early, Sharon is from Impact San Antonio. She is co-chair of marketing and communications for Impact San Antonio and will be giving us a short but really dynamic presentation on Impact San Antonio's use of themes. Sharon is now retired, but she enjoyed a 30-year career as Trinity University's Chief Public Relations and Communications Officer. And before that, Sharon was a television news anchor and reporter for the NBC affiliate WOAI. Thank you, Sharon, and I'm turning it over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Renee. I really appreciate the opportunity to share with you all the theme that we came up with and how we are expressing it this year, and maybe a little bit of background about some of our previous efforts and what we're trying to achieve. So I'll ask Nancy to go ahead and pull up the first slide. This is our logo, Impact San Antonio, and that's our tagline, and it's used with the logo more often than not. And that's been our tagline for 7+ years. And so we feel like we have a lot of brand equity in that, and we wanted to maintain that and to develop some umbrella themes that would complement this, but not supplanted. And so we are an organization that was founded in 2004. We are 19 years old. I was telling some of the folks that were online is that we're going to begin celebrating our 20th anniversary next year. We started with 25 women, and we made our first gift of $25,000 to the Arc of San Antonio, which is a nonprofit organization that provides services to children and adults with intellectual and developmental disadvantages or difficulties. So we have grown from 25 members to 500+ members, and we've been pretty steady over the last 5 or 6 years. So we were proud to say that we have been awarding $500+ in grants for the last 5 or 6 years. This year, we're going to offer 6 $100,000 grants because one of our previous grantees was not able to fulfill their grant. So they forfeited it. And then we turned around and added it to our grant pool. So we will have this October, we'll have 6 high impact grant recipients, and then we'll have what we call support grants. So that's any money that's left over. And so 4 of the finalists will receive a $10,000 support grant. So when we were, since we've been around a while, we wanted to try to kind of cut through the complacency, cut through the noise a little bit to attract attention from women who know us, but also women who don't know us. So if you, Nancy, if you could go to the next slide, this is what we came up with: connect, empower, transform. Now, I'll have to say that this came about with the use of a digital marketing company in San Antonio that really allowed us to kind of set the stage for who and what we are and what we do and what our mission is. And then they were able to translate that into an illustration. So the colors that these colors mean something, these words mean something. And so we wanted a theme that would, you know, cover a lot of the various activities of our mission: member recruitment and retention activities, member engagement activities and events, sponsor acquisition. We don't have any paid staff other than a part-time admin, and so any operational funds that we have they come from sponsors and also from our members who want to be champions or plus, and so they pay above and beyond the $1,000 buy-in for the grants. And also as a way to kind of create community awareness. It's really important to us that the community understands who we are and what we're doing in the community and the significant grants that we are awarding, because we want to make a difference. We are women who want to make a difference in our community. So this theme is derived from the thought that the women that join Impact San Antonio, they love to connect. They love to connect with one another. They love to connect with our agencies, and they want to connect with other women who share a heart for giving. By joining together, this symbolizes that we are empowering each other and our members to achieve meaningful change in our community by helping to award these significant grants that fund innovative projects. And through those projects and through that funding, we hope we're able to transform lives in our community. You can go to the next slide. There we go. So this kind of, as I've just said, this really kind of articulates what the three words in our theme are about. Connect. Women connect by joining. And so connect is in our theme is about women, events about women coming together. Empower is events about empowering themselves and others and grant recipients, and transform is how they transform our community. So each one of these words corresponds with a color, the color palette that are in the butterfly. So if you go to the next one, the next slide. So here's an example. Not only did they create this beautiful graphic for us that really has resonated and really has caught attention, they created some templates for us for the various events that we do. And this was incredibly helpful, incredibly time-saving. So all of our member events, we spend like from January to May 15th trying to rebuild our organization and rebuild our grant pool. Like you, we have to recruit and retain our members in order to develop the grant pool for each year. So these are two examples of how we utilized the theme and some of the other graphic elements and the color so that they know that this is a Connect event. You'll look along the side here, you'll see where Connect is featured prominently. So these are networking events and opportunities, and we had many of those. Next slide, Nancy. So this is an example of an Empower grant related event, and this event hasn't happened yet. So what I'm showing you is the invitation to our grant award night, which is coming up on October 23rd. This is our biggest night of the year. This is a culmination of all of our recruitment and our grant review and grant application process. This is where we award the high impact grants and the supporting grants. It's a big event. We usually attract between 350 and 400 people to this event. We also do voting online now. COVID kind of changed everything. We used to vote in person with paper, and then it would take another hour to count all of that. But we found that our members will vote online. And then what we do is we just keep it secret until we're ready to reveal, and we reveal that night. But Empower is the line Empower is featured prominently. Also, you'll notice in this design work, they gave us kind of a stylized, this is stylized skyline of San Antonio. I don't know how many of you know San Antonio, but the tall green thing on the left, that's our Tower of Americas. And then you can kind of see our Alamo and some of our other larger buildings in San Antonio. So it connects, not only did the graphic help express better what we do and why we do it, but it also connected us to the community. Let's go ahead to the next one. So here's an example of the templates and the events related to Transform. A couple times a year, we do an event where we showcase an agency and allow them to tell us what they're doing, give us an update, and how did our grant help them? So here are two recent ones from this year. One was at the SAM Ministries, which is an agency that helps transition families and individuals from homelessness to traditional living. And so they have a traditional living center, and our grant went to help improve some elements of that facility. And recently we had a wonderful grand opening and ribbon cutting with the Boys and Girls Club, the Calderon chapter on the near west side of San Antonio. And this is the Calderon Center is an important facility. The clubhouse is very important to the children in that area. They hadn't had a gym renovation since 1975. And while to me that doesn't sound like that's long ago, but in the life of a gym it was. And it was a really beautiful event, and we were able to, the grant helped replace the gym floor and some of the basketball goals. So again, they created a template for us, and then we were able to just drop in. The next couple of slides I just wanted to share with you are sort of examples of how we used elements of the theme in the graphic. This was a thumbnail that we used in the newsletter because we do a lot of promotion through our newsletter. The next slide is a thumbnail of an event that we had. Spring Fling is kind of our last big Connect event before we have to close out our membership year. And so we really wanted it to have kind of a spring look, but again, it still has the wonderful butterfly and then the Connect, Empower, Transform. Throughout our recruiting season, we also have created what's called a kind of a thermometer or barometer. And before it was we had a kind of a heart, we filled it in with flowers or filled it in with the names, but in order to keep connected with the Connect, Empower, Transform theme, we created a butterfly flitting through the city at different points of the year. And this is one just before we concluded our membership year. And again, we've got the tower, we wanted it larger so that we could see that as a kind of a stretch. It was also important that the theme graphic fit nicely with our logo, as you'll see on this next slide. We were able to let the campaign theme take all of the color and then just do one color for our regular logo, Women Making a Difference. And so this all of this was very widely accepted by our board, who are the keepers and the showrunners for the different activities, from recruitment to membership engagement to grant review, grant application, grant awareness, and that kind of thing. And one of the things that I tried to do when I wanted to kind of pull all this together was pull together enough people to kind of get some buy-in. What did they want? What did we need? How would they use it? And then when I presented this to them, they unanimously accepted, and they've adopted it in lots of different ways. And so that's been very rewarding, and it's been great to see. I'll stop now, and if there's any questions or comments, or I'd be happy to see if I can answer anything.
First of all, Sharon, thank you. Oh my goodness, it just was a great presentation. I'm so appreciative of you putting the time in with Renee to work this out, and
Oh, my pleasure.
terrific
Thank you.
way to
Thank you for the
present.
opportunity. I
Oh
hope I didn't
goodness.
brag too much. I mean,
No, I keep bragging, and I hope you'll brag in the future because I think this is helpful. At Philanos, our tags are all about connect, share, and learn. I mean, connect, learn, and share. And so we're all about sharing. And so here, thank you for being an affiliate and sharing today. Before we go further, could people drop in chat where you're from and just quickly post something there? That would be wonderful. And then just to go on, how many people actually have a theme that you're using? Anybody else? So really valuable today. So what questions? I have a couple on your template. For one is, how do you use your template? What is your communications method out to your membership?
well, those were emailed.
Right.
We use Wild Apricot as our kind of our people source, and we send everything out via email. We do very little via print and mail to people at all anymore. So we use that, and we would use, say, like a thumbnail in our social media with information about an upcoming event or something like that. So does that answer your question, Anne Marie?
A little bit. Did you have Wild Apricot do any special things for you, or did you have to follow? Was there some customization? Because I think a lot of us do use Wild Apricot.
Yeah. I'm not the best person to ask that question. Jen Bly or Liz Parker might be better to ask those technology questions. Oh, I just say we want it to go to these people, and so they know how to pull up different people from the database.
Okay.
Some events are member only. Some events are much. We want to make a much wider reach.
No, I noticed the integrity of the graphics is so nice. So right
Thank
away,
you. No, I cannot compliment enough On Point Plus for helping us with that. They did a fabulous job and really helped us kind of hone in and did a great job of what they thought was kind of summed up what our whole mission and our organization was about. And this was the first time we've had some themes but mostly they've been focused on our recruitment. I wanted something that was going to cross all areas of our operation.
Thank you.
They did do a wonderful job. What was the cost?
I'm trying to remember what the cost was. It was not very much. I don't know if we got some kind of special deal. Why don't you send me an email, BJ, and I'll look that up.
All right. Thank you.
I was going to ask the same question because, we're a small organization and we have one volunteer person doing it. And
yeah, I know what you mean.
But somebody just gave us like a gift and they said, you can do what you want with it. And I have no idea if it's enough. So I would find that valuable too.
It did not blow my hair back. I'll tell you that. It was, the website cost us a whole lot more, but we had, as I said earlier, we had someone give us a gift that was really helpful to do that. And it was time. Our website, looked kind of ABC, and websites have about a 5-year shelf life, but you also have to kind of keep tuning things up. Thank you, Nancy. I hope you will share the slides, and
we will make an effort to reach out and get the cost so we can also share that in there.
Okay, I'll have to go back and look at the invoices.
Okay, Nancy's really good about pushing us to do the follow-up right away. And so as soon as we get that information, so the follow-up may
Nancy, what's your email?
nclark@philanos.org.
Okay, thank you.
No, because the templates and being able to have consistency across the committees.
Yeah.
Here's your template. And
so there was an initial charge for all of the creative work, but then we've gone back to them to help us make sure that we are using the templates, giving them updated. And so they've been able to turn the invitations around pretty quickly for us. So we've used them all year long.
I'll offer another thought too is before I retired, I had my own agency for about 20 years, and I worked mostly in high tech, but I did a lot of work for, I would do pro bono work for nonprofits, and I loved doing that. My staff loved doing that. It was just really fun. And so we were so willing, the right project would come around at the right time. And so that's
Right.
an option to look out in your
It
community,
is.
say,
It's,
who, is there someone that might help us? Or they might give you a really deep discount just to cover their costs.
that's a great point. As a matter of fact, the CEO is a member of Impact San Antonio. And so she did not charge us for her time. She just sent an invoice related to the designer's work that worked
Yeah,
for her.
exactly. That was my other thing. I mean, as
Yeah.
the owner, I didn't have to pay my salary, but I was trying to cover the costs of the
It
things.
makes it, I frequently kind of comb through our directory and our database. And Wild Apricot, as I'm looking for people to help with social media or that kind of thing. And so that your membership can be a great source of assistance to you, either in discounts or in pro bono work or in being part of your Marcom committee.
So another question, you said you just had your website redone. We're getting ours redone now. Did you do it in coordination? The two, was it the same company or the companies
No.
worked together?
What's interesting, this is a different company, and they had 3 different words than what the campaign theme suggested. So we told them not to put those words on the website, and that we were going to go with this campaign. It was just too many words on if you go to our website, there's too many one word things on our website. We decided we didn't need another connect, empower, transform kind of. And so we were working simultaneously. The website went up in March, and we were working on this toward the end of last year, and they had already decided some of the colors. And so we coordinated the two with the colors. So the colors on our website do match the campaign theme colors.
Nancy, can you pull up their homepage for everyone? Because it would be fun to look at it. It was one that I stumbled on just on my own. And I was like, wow, how have we not talked about this? But now I realize you just launched it. And you probably weren't really promoting it. And it was also during your membership period. So
Yes.
yeah, but it's a really great, I was just fascinated with the
Thank you.
engagement of that website.
Thank you. That's what we wanted. We wanted people to be engaged with it. We also needed to create a website that could be updated easily and without a lot of fuss, because we do have a dedicated web volunteer, but mostly right now she helps us update the blogs that we use to connect to our newsletter. Now, Judy, you guys have a really nice website. I go to your website all the time for ideas. So
yeah, as soon as Nancy pulls up yours, we can look at Austin too.
There we go.
Yeah.
So this bar up at the top is not normally there. I mean, it's to help us highlight and register people for Grant Award Night. Plus, it also leads you to a specialized page that kind of highlights our finalists. So these See, Join, Impact on the right, these are specialized sections that really kind of talk about the why and the who, what, and when and where kind of thing. And we do have some good photography. Every once in a while we will commission some, but a lot of that was provided to us by our grant agencies. Like this is an adorable picture of those kids in the kitchen, and that's the kitchen too, where we gave a high impact grant to update the kitchen for a juvenile residential facility that are transitioning from living at home to living in a place where they're safer and can thrive better.
I also want to comment the beauty of having the photos come from the grant recipients is
Mhm.
that they do the photo releases.
Right.
You
So we can
use them.
update these member profiles. We're getting ready to update them because we take those right from our newsletter. So each month we have a member profile, and so we'll have 3 or 4 new ones. And then after October the 23rd, we will update this high impact grants, and you click on each one of those, and it shows you more about what those grants were and what they're doing. We wanted a kind of a simplified navigation as well. And so we fought about navigation. Can you imagine about something so small as navigation? But everybody has a comment about navigation. And so
Everybody, I remember of doing this with my high tech clients, and it was like the founder would see it one way, and then the
yes,
actual user, and you'd say, I'm sorry, Mr. Founder, it doesn't really work the way you think it is.
right.
So,
They included this widget to our Facebook. That's the social media that gets updated the most often. They assigned the oldest person to Instagram, and that's me. And I am learning, on the job. And so, but the woman who's helping us with the Facebook, she does a great job of finding these stories with our agencies and kind of reminding people that, we've been a part of this organization and what they're doing in the community. So
wonderful. You also have a map or a
yes, if you go to the CR Impact up at the top, CR Impact, click on that purple box there. Yeah, that's that one. So it'll come up in a minute. That's our box. So the purple ones are the high impact grants. And if you click on one of those purple things, you'll get the grant. So here's Musical Bridges Around the World. We gave them a grant so that they could do more in schools to further arts and culture. And then we have our video. We've got a video on the right and down. So that's our map, and we update that every year. And the green dots are our support grants.
No, thank you for sharing that. This is fabulous. So, Nancy, can you pull up Impact Austin? Because they do some really.
They do.
Yeah. We just thought after we finished the last Comms Club, we decided Sharon gave us the idea because she was talking about, we have this butterfly. And then as we researched it further, and Renee got all over that. So she's the one that pursued it. And I'm sorry about my kitty in the background, the Cheshire cat here, but we just thought this would be a good discussion today, because I think all of us are trying to figure out, how do we keep things updated, connected, not totally change things, work our way through it. And these are some great examples. Impact Austin, all these photos that you have and intermingling your people and logos. Judy, do you want to talk a little bit about it?
I can
Yes,
say that
and
that
Judy,
banner
would you talk about it? Sorry, I just wanted to add in one thing. Could you talk a little bit about your member portal as well? We're considering putting one of those on our website, and just wondering sort of what information you have in there and how often people use it if they find it convenient.
I'll start with the member portal. I don't think many of our members use it. And our current ED hates it. So I'm not sure how long its life is. I use it for myself because it reminds me how far in advance I've paid my membership, how many voting cycles I have in front of me. I can also look at that because I write most of our blogs and our social media. And if I'm identifying someone as the class of whatever year, the member portal tells me that, and I don't have to reach out to that person. So personally, I like it.
We use it to register people. We use it. There's a directory in there. There's all kinds of information. We find, and we use, that's where you have to go if you want to vote for the grant award night. So we find the member portal very helpful, and it's connected to our wild apricot.
We use a member portal as well and find it very useful. It has a member directory, although we have to really focus on updating that and getting our members to
Mhm.
provide updated contact information, but also for voting and even renewing membership. It ties in with our Member Leap platform.
So Sharon, I have a quick question on that. Do you require your members to log in to Wild Apricot and then they use the member portal that way? Or is it just a separate login for the member portal? Or Judy?
There's a little group of people at the top of our website that they can get to it there, and they can get to it however they want to, but it's not a requirement. But if you're going to register for an event, you do have to log in, and that's how we register people. And if you're going to vote, you have to log in. But it's, you don't have to if you don't want to. We prefer that they do spend more time there, but sometimes they don't find that it's user friendly and they're bored and they want to move on. So
Okay. So Judy, we'll go back to you. Thank you for your patience there.
Oh, well, thank you. I learned so much from all of you. So we know we need to refresh our website. We gave it a mini refresh during COVID because my then co-chair had the time. But we're undergoing a strategic planning process right now, and we think that some of the decisions and future directions that come out of that are going to give us ideas for where to take the website. We get knocked constantly for this being difficult to navigate. So when the issue of navigation was brought up, I could hardly contain myself. So
I hear you, sister.
So one of our millennial members of our committee says, well, the path to membership isn't obvious. And I'm thinking at the top, it says join or renew. How is that? And there's a drop down for membership, but I'm too close to it. So I don't see what she means. Another member said, well, when I look at the drop down for events, I only see our signature events. I don't see all the things we're doing. I said, well, you have to click on events to see everything. And that same person didn't know how to find our posts on LinkedIn. So she had some limits of her own. Those of us on the marketing committee know that this website contains everything you could want to know about Impact Austin, but I'm willing to consider that it may be difficult to navigate. But if somebody wants to learn about us, it's all here. Every newsletter, all our blogs, everything about us, how to join, how to donate. Under grant making, we have a drop down that says see our impact. That's if you go into that and you click on and then go down to community partner or click on any one of these, it will give the details of what the grant was about. If the grant is finished, it's going to give the outcomes of the grant. If a video, in this case for Magdalene House, this is their finalist video presented to us when we were voting, but if the grant had been finished, it would be their grant outcomes video. So when people want to know what our grants have accomplished, this is one way they can find out. So it is all here. But because it's all here, there are a lot of places you can go, and there comes the criticism about navigation. The banner at the top was taken, the inspiration was pulled from our 15th anniversary video. We just celebrated our 20th. But when we created the 15th anniversary video, I said to the videographer, I want an ending that's like the ending of the Love Actually movie, where it starts with, you have a picture of maybe 2 images and it becomes 4 and it becomes 16. And so this is what we did for that year's video. We had pictures of all sorts of member faces and all sorts of grants. And so this is riffed from that. But we have places to improve, and I've jotted down all kinds of notes from Impact San Antonio.
I can't wait to hear some of the things you do. I sit on a committee for the university I went to, and they were running some things by that are texts that go out to prospective students. And I could not even understand them. And they said that was the whole thing with the whole committee, but they work with the students. So it is, how do you get the language so that they work? And it's the enrollment's up, so that's what really mattered. But it wouldn't have been something I would have thought I wouldn't have given it 2 cents, and yet that's going to be the most important platform for this year to recruit. But so I hear you. I can't wait to see where you go with this. I know you use a blog, so, and Sharon was also talking about it. What kinds of topics do you keep it real time? Do you put in specific topics you want to highlight? What's the purpose of your blog?
Again, it's a place where somebody can find out everything they need to know. So we have 2.5 or 24 basic categories. I'll have a blog that goes live tomorrow that says who our semifinalists are for grants. I just wrote one recently on our commitment to philanthropy education. We write about our Girls Giving Grants initiative. We do member profiles. We do updates on past community partners. It's everything. All of our old newsletters are on the blog. There are hundreds of entries on our blog.
Oh, thank you. Sharon, what do you do?
Well, our blog we call it a blog, but it's a place where we put our news stories. It's under news and events. And so it's whatever stories that are going to be in our newsletter. Every month in the newsletter, we have a message from the president. And then we have a member profile. We have an agency update. We might have a sponsor profile. And then there might be some other things. But for the most part, these are things that are these are a little more long form, 250, 300, 350 words. And we put them on there. We put them on the website in what we call a blog format in what's called the news and events area.
So
Does
you're going at it
anybody
from
else use a blog?
Pardon, Renee?
Any other organizations use a blog? Sorry, Emery.
No, that's okay. I just was going to comment. So you're repurposing content, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
We try to get as many bites out of the apple as we can.
Okay.
Because we just don't have, we can't create new content every month. We use it on we link it to our social media. We put it on our website. We use it in our newsletter because, you can replay a story 7 or 8 times and you still don't know for sure if they got the message.
Okay. No, thank you for sharing that, because I think that's a really important aspect. Sometimes we think, oh, we already used that, but
Yeah,
we
no.
could use it 8 ways, and we might reach a broader audience that way. So, and create different language. I've become very fascinated with this, the younger generation and the language that might not resonate with some of the rest of us, but it's going to resonate with the people we want to target. And so that also could be a way to take some of the same content, just change the language around it. So, and I made a note, would this be an interesting topic to talk about blogs and how content was used? Does that sound okay?
Yes.
That might be a good one. Renee and I'll chat about what we're going to do. And Buffy's on here as well. She's my co-chair, but she is not on camera today. She's just listening in, so won't put her on the spot. What other things? What are the best engagement tools you have, the best electronic engagement tools that you have for your organization? What's your top 2? Someone want to start?
Repeat that, please.
What are the top 2 engagement tools, digital engagement tools, electronic engagement tools that you have for your organization to engage your members?
So we send out just an email every 2 weeks, our biweekly email that's sounds like most people call it a newsletter with updates of upcoming events and projects we're working on. We have something called the Power of Impact, and the Power of Impact of the Ripple Effect is the full name of it. And we share stories about women who are part of our organization who have gone on to do amazing things due to introductions that have come about through our organization. So that's like for the primary. I guess we use a little bit of social media too, but I feel like our membership is a bit older and not really into the social media as much. So I think it's more email based for us.
Okay, thank you. So email and then social media second. Somebody else want to talk to this?
I would say we've done surveys to find out which of our social media. And I would say probably email and Facebook are, we probably skew a little bit more mature. We always work to kind of diversify our age bracket so that we can recreate ourselves. But I think they like that Facebook and maybe LinkedIn better. We can track who's opening the newsletter and emails and who's not, and what the percentage of click-throughs are and that kind of thing. So, people get so much email, I don't think you can count. You can't just count on email and newsletters, unfortunately, from my perspective.
Oh, that is so true. Someone else want to share?
I just want to follow up with what Sharon said about all the emails. We use a master calendar so that we can organize the emails that have to go out, and so that we're not bombarding our members with emails every day of the week. And so that way we can organize them, time them, and hopefully that way they have more of an impact.
That's where I love Kristen's comment about doing it the bi-weekly, because that would encourage people to consolidate. So thanks, Renee. That is a really good point. I mean, we talk about it in Philanos all the time. We have so many things we want to share with a very large audience, and yet how many, what's the right number? And everybody views that their content is the most important. Nancy's our traffic comp on that, which we appreciate, but it is a challenge, and email has the shelf life of a nanosecond. So if someone doesn't see it that day, then it does need to go again. It's just, you figure out when you get engaged with the organization how you're going to stay up to date. But it's also annoying sometimes when you just get so many things. How do I still get this but not get everything, or have my inbox filled up before I start my day? So, and
that's one of the big challenges that we have with email is just are they gonna unsubscribe if we send it out so much? So we've been very cognizant of just really they don't go out as regularly as someone else has said, but I'm the one that sends them out, and I just like, okay, anybody has anything, let's gather it together, because I just don't want to, because I know they will unsubscribe. We've already had a couple who did it already, and we weren't very good about communicating. However, we did, we started Constant Contact really at the end of last year, and we've been better at communicating because COVID really put a dent in how we did anything with our membership.
Thank you for sharing that. I think sometimes the unsubscribes, when I was doing marketing for Impact 100 Redwood Circle, the unsubscribes, they go, well, I didn't mean to unsubscribe. I just didn't want that one thing. And so then you have to figure out how to get them back in it, and a lot of extra effort. So to hold off on that reaction is definitely good. So Marty, I see you unmuted.
It just reminded me that we are small, I mentioned earlier, but we have been using Constant Contact for at least 5 years now. And we found that having a consistent look and feel helps people realize, oh, that's for me, and this is something I care about, so I'll open it. But we still, I think at most get, I believe the number's like 89%. Generally, someplace between 80 and 90% open up those constant contact emails. So some people just don't use their email, I guess.
Marty, those are fabulous numbers. Oh
They
my
are.
goodness. I'm so jealous. Oh, goodness.
We're pretty small though, and that's all we have. We too are an older group, and we're wrestling with, should we do Facebook? And yes, most of us are on Facebook, and a lot of us are on Instagram, but hardly anybody, but not everybody. And it's been suggested that we go on LinkedIn as well, which I think should be pretty simple, but because apparently our grantees also use LinkedIn, so it might be useful for that. So I'd be interested in what others think about it.
We did a session a while ago on LinkedIn, and there is a back in the portal, and I'll find that for you. I'll make a note and send that to you, because there was some information there. But I do recommend.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
ask for that
yeah.
after that session, but I still would love to get those slides on the LinkedIn session.
Okay.
So would I.
Stephanie, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, not being on, I'm with Many Hands in DC, and not being on the board, I don't have numbers about responsiveness to our communications, but I have been helping with communications, so I have a little bit of a sense. And because the membership changes from year to year, I mean, yes, there's a core group of people who stick with it, but there's a lot of coming and going, people who stay for a year or two or don't, or they come in and they bring their friend in and their friend stays for a year, or they, so there's a lot of fluidity to the membership. And so there's always a lot of, you don't want to bombard people with too many emails, but you want to get them excited. So there's always that question there. And I'm not sure whether other people have any tips as to how to deal with that and keep people engaged and making them interested in being active, because a lot of our members, they give money and they come to the final event where they can decide who they want to vote for, and they aren't engaged in other ways. And so, how you do that. This is also our 20th year. We're preparing for a 20th anniversary event in April. And so right now we're looking at communicating and getting people interested and involved. One thing about LinkedIn, just sort of as an aside, I think that it is a very useful tool, especially for keeping engaged with the grantee organizations, because it's a way for Many Hands members who are on LinkedIn to follow what the organizations are doing, and vice versa. And there's a lot of supporting, liking each other's stuff and commenting on it and sharing it. If I see one of our grantee organizations that I was involved with or actually, visited or whatever, and they have some new event happening, I might share it so that I give them additional publicity and vice versa. And so I think LinkedIn, it's for people who are serious, not just looking at the pretty pictures on Instagram. It's a little more people with intention who look at and read things on LinkedIn. I think it's a useful thing.
It also provides a really good way to repost something that might be interesting to the membership and the group that you're engaged with and the partners talking about philanthropy. Example, Philanthropy Together posts some really interesting comments. It could be sharing a TED Talk that would be interesting. And that platform does make that really easy to do that. Anyone else?
But does anyone have any tips for, engaging those new members who are just trying you out or who've been there for a year or two, and how you, with whether it's email or the social media or the newsletter or what, any special tips?
We actually had an idea, and it came out of a recent Philanos session that I think I was on it and a few others. And we have recently realized, now that I'm a co-chair of the group, the overall group, as soon as I knew that I was going to have that job, I started going to everybody's websites and looking at Philanos, and I try to go to a lot of these things. And it's hard to cover them all. And some of them are smaller like this. Some of your Philanos events are smaller like this, but some are large. And we asked some of our new members, would they be willing to be on a Philanos session and report back, key points. And there's something about seeing other women like yourselves and listening to the group. I mean, everybody can do that. We don't say we need a big report. We want, could you come back and give us a few ideas, particularly if it's a session about something where you have an idea to put a person in a role. So if they're interested in that topic anyway, they're likely to want to listen in. It's a tiny thing, but it's we seem to have some interest around that. It's easy, and we're not making them do anything.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's a great idea. How to share and provide a quick forum. Yeah, nobody wants to write a big report or write 2 pages back or, feel, am I doing this right? Did I capture it all? Just here's my comments, and accepting that and being respectful of that. Thank you.
Right.
No,
Judy also put in the chat about a quick start guide. Is that for new members?
Yes, we just did it. It's meant to be electronic, although it can be printed out and taken to a recruitment event, although of course the links aren't going to work if it's printed. There's just a QR code to volunteer to events. But the Quick Start Guide, which is on one of our web pages, is full of all sorts of links to everything a new member might want to know about, but then they don't have to navigate that complicated website. It's all on the page. So we're hoping that will do some good.
Thank
I
you.
love that idea. Oh my goodness.
I have a question. Oh, sorry.
No, go
That
ahead.
was a millennials idea.
Of course. I have it's probably off topic, but somebody mentioned it might have been you, Judy, that you're working on a strategic plan, and we are doing the same thing. It's very painful, but super good. I mean, we have 120 members, and we've had 40 members involved in it, and we're fortunate to have a member who in her working life was an advisor to nonprofits to do strategic planning. So we kind of stumbled into that, and I'm asking the Philanos people, is there a group or session or something where you talk about strategic planning for these kinds of groups?
I think there easily could be. I just made a note of that, Marty, because that would be probably relevant for a wide group. We found when we launched the membership roundtable last month that we had an overwhelming response right away. So I suspect strategic planning will hit that kind of nerve. So we'll chat about that one. Definitely. Thank you. And Nancy's going to share the portal really quick, which has information on past events and recording links. And you just simply log in. There's the video, and you can just look at the slides too. So, and these go back, they're all dated, and so this is Comms Club, but it's in there for each group, and appreciate it. So, and it's under the affiliate portal. So we do we rely on it. I hear back from people that they use it. So as you turn over, and part of the onboarding for your new leadership could be how to use the Philanos portal or Philanos resources, find them. So thanks. Yeah, this is great. Thank you, Nancy. I'm also going to, Nancy, you can make it really easy. Just pull up the events page so we can Yeah, sorry, now that you're done, rather just tell people, we'll put them in the email too, but I want to do a quick shout out for some of the upcoming events. The next one is October 10th. There's a webinar, and this one is all about feminism and philanthropy. And the speaker is currently at Northwestern, but she has a really interesting background. And I just encourage you to put that one on your calendar and register if you haven't done that. And then the tech talk on the 19th. This is Renee is also involved with these. And Renee, what are the topics for that one?
The tech talk, I'm sorry,
there it is. Yeah.
there it is. Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah, so software programs for simplifying operations in your circle, and then website graphics that will boost your messaging, much like what we talked about today with from Sharon and Impact Austin. The same thing, you know, what kinds of things can you do to help boost your organization? So that's on October 19th. And then we have a membership roundtable on the 24th. Do you want to click on that one, Nancy? Sure. And this one, we did have to cap it. And so I just, if this is of interest to you, make sure that you register right when the registration link comes out. It's available now too. You can do that. But yeah, so because Nancy fielded calls from people that wanted to register after we cut it off, and it was just to manage the group. We still had over 50 people on the Zoom. So it clearly struck a nerve, just like the strategic planning. I'm guessing that will also be that. And then the last shout out is for our national conference. We're so excited. Watch for next week. We're going to be announcing some other opportunities for attending. But I just encourage you, if there's any way that someone from your circle can attend, if you don't have representation already, we have over, not only are these the keynote and plenary speakers, but there are breakout sessions, and it includes over 100 different people that are participating in some way. And so the opportunity to learn, not just from that presentation, but also from just sharing and walking up to someone and drinking some coffee with them and going out to dinner. There's a dine around one night. It's just, there's some really, really fabulous opportunities here. So
I'm coming, and one other member from our group is coming. I'm really looking forward to it.
oh, excellent. Yay. So just think about it. Registration's still open. It's at the Four Seasons in Baltimore. And I just want to add, they were really anxious to have our business. And so they gave us by far the best rate. So who doesn't want to go to a Four Seasons and enjoy the location? And it was definitely the best deal. It just worked out. So really encourage you. And thank you for joining today. I look forward to the next time, which we don't yet have on the calendar, right, Nancy? Or did we go ahead?
Not yet.
Yeah, we're working on the January calendar. So, and maybe we're also talking post-conference, what we do. We're still kind of noodling some things because, as you might imagine, the board's flat out working on the conference. And so when people like me raise their hand and say, well, what are we doing after the conference? And they're kind of like, oh, oh, yes. So it's just like being in our circles. We have the same thing. So there'll be a lot of things to follow.
Yeah, Maria, I just wanted to add, if anybody has ideas, topics, issues that they would like to discuss, please email us. Let us know. I can put my email in the chat box, and feel free to just let us know what's on your mind.
Yes. And thank you for a great discussion today, and great, really grateful. Thank you, Sharon, for getting us started. Thank you, Judy, for talking about everything, and all the rest of you that contributed. And just thank you for doing what you're doing for your community. And thank you for being part of Philanos. So have an awesome day.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.